Today we are going to be taking a close look at the Find X2, one of OPPO's new flagship phones, the one that's currently on sale in India. So how does this fare? Let's find out in this video. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, please subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. As always, let's begin with the build. This Find X2 that I have here has a glass back, Gorilla Glass 5 to be precise. There's also a ceramic variant available, that one similar to the Find X2 Pro that I have. OPPO's done something very interesting. The ceramic back has these minute ridges. They're ever so tiny that they don't allow for dirt accumulation, but they do add a little bit of grip and also ensure that the back picks up fewer fingerprints and smudges. This glass variant on the other hand is pretty much what we've come to expect from flagships. It's got a subtle pattern though. Do note that this is underneath the glass and not etched on it. The glass variant also happens to be lighter than its ceramic counterpart. That said, I do feel both have been built well. This back curves at the edges and the display too does the same. So the phone feels slimmer than it actually is. OPPO's gotten an IP54 rating for the Find X2, making it splash proof. Talking about the display, we have a Gorilla Glass 6 covered 6.7-inch Quad HD Plus AMOLED panel with a punch hole to the top left. Here's where we find a 32 megapixel selfie camera. It's a 1x2.8 inch sensor with an f2.4 lens. As you can see, the pictures it takes turned out quite nice. It shoots 8 megapixels by default, yet there is ample detail. The skin tones are quite natural and the portrait mode seems to work well too. Circling back to the display, one thing I really like here is the fact that the Find X2 can remain at Quad HD Plus and switch to 120Hz refresh. Now that's not something you can do on the likes of the S20 series, for example. This display is quite pleasing to the eye. It supports HDR10+ and covers 100% of the DCI-P3 color gamut, and it even gets super bright, so outdoor usage was not an issue at all. Media consumption, thanks to the stereo speakers, is excellent. We don't get a headphone jack though. Now the gaming experience, it also happens to be kick-ass. It's got a Snapdragon 865 after all. By the way, we get only one SKU here in India, the top one with 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 gigs of UFS 3.0 storage. OPPO offers NFC. The Type-C port to the bottom is USB 3.1, and it's via this port that we can charge this phone from 0 to 40 in just 10 minutes or 0 to 100 in about half an hour. The included SuperVOOC 2.0 charger here is rated at 65 watts, and as the numbers indicate, it is damn fast. The battery capacity is a very healthy 4200 mAh. It lasted me a day on a single charge quite easily with moderate use. There is also support for 18-watt quick charge, so compatibility wise, we're all set. Now it's not just the hardware, the software also seems quite well done. We have ColorOS 7.1 built on top of Android 10, and this is the most streamlined we've seen ColorOS 7 be. We have things like stock navigation gestures, a universal dark mode and all that. We also get OPPO's smart sidebar, a slew of camera features including beauty options, manual controls and a lot more. Everything's extremely smooth and fluid. The fingerprint scanner, the face unlock, everything. So there's nothing to complain about here. Okay, wait, not exactly nothing. I was super disappointed that this phone does not have support for a second SIM, not even an eSIM. At a time where even Apple seems to understand the importance of a secondary SIM option, this did feel like a letdown. That said, the cell reception and call quality via the one SIM was excellent. Talking about excellent, let's talk cameras. To the back of the Find X2, OPPO has an interesting triple camera setup. The primary is last year's flagship Sony IMX586 sensor. It's paired with an optically stabilized f1.7 lens. As expected, the combination yields some excellent looking photos. The dynamic range is pretty great. We get nice deep blues here with the highlights, while the details in darker areas of the shot have also been retained. The wide aperture gives us this nice natural bokeh to the background. Overall, really impressive daylight shots. Under low light, the Find X2 still manages to pull off some good looking shots. OPPO is calling this their Ultra Night Mode 3.0, and the processing here tends to favor lower ISOs. This means that while at first glance the pictures might seem kinda dark, but notice that the noise levels are kept to a bare minimum. OIS plays a big part here, and so does the wide aperture that maximizes light capture. Under extremely challenging conditions, the Find X2 switches to Ultra Night Mode. Now a tripod or a steady hand is necessary here, but the end results, they managed to surprise me. Moving on to the ultra-wide snapper, we have Sony's IMX708 paired with the f2.2 lens. Now this 12 megapixel camera takes photos with a wide 120-degree field of view, so we get quite a lot in each frame. The colors are pretty close to the primary, but there's this slight tendency to go for oversaturated greens. The dynamic range is good though. As for the final shooter, we have a 13 megapixel telephoto. OIS makes a return here along with an f2.4 aperture lens. It can shoot at 2x and even at 5x hybrid zoom. The images turned out sharp enough. OPPO's done well here. Now, while most phones nowadays come armed with a dedicated macro sensor, OPPO has chosen to keep things simple, letting us use the existing hardware here to get macros. The Find X2 intelligently switches to the macro mode once we are close enough to a subject. And as you can see, these are some of the best macro shots we've come across with the phone in recent times. Good details with sharp focus, and the colors are bright and vibrant too. Moving over to the video side of things, 4K 60fps footage is excellent. The details here, the autofocus, it latches on fast, and OIS makes sure things are kept nice and steady. Speaking of steady, we have two ultra steady modes in here, regular and ultra steady max. The latter makes use of the ultra-wide camera. We also have a portrait video mode, and it works with the front as well as the rear camera. Now, one aspect of videography that's often ignored is the sound. Not here though. OPPO has packed in wind noise reduction, sound focus, and something they're calling 3D audio recording. It makes use of the three mics on the Find X2 in tandem, and here's a quick sample.
This is the standard audio output, and now we are switching to the... This is with the wind noise reduction on. As you can see, it's a cloudy day in Chennai and there is not much of wind here.
Now, while the Find X2 might lack the bells and whistles that we'd find on the more expensive Find X2 Pro, the optics here are still solid nonetheless. And they are aided by well thought out software on OPPO's side. So overall, OPPO seems to have put together a compelling package. Excellent build, rapid charging, beautiful displays, stellar optics. It does lack a few nice to haves like wireless charging and a headphone jack. Still seems like an overall solid phone. Now, the biggest hurdle for people looking to buy this, it's got to be the lack of dual SIM and the not so aggressive pricing. At 65,000 rupees, the X2 is priced higher than the competition. Maybe OPPO could have launched a lower 8128SKU and priced it more aggressively. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. So that's the bottom line. In a nutshell again, excellent overall phone, misses a few things, price not too aggressive. Did you like this video? If yes, maybe you'd like these two. Oh, before you click on them, hit like, share and subscribe. Do it. Do it now. Do it. I'm waiting. Thanks for your time. Have a good day.